Welcome to the Breakthrough to Your Best Success online event. Join your host, Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, and the contributors from the Success Guidebook and other special guests to visualize, actualize, and amplify you and your best success. This conference will help you redefine success, transform your goals, embrace change, design and realize your best life, and much more.
With bestselling author Emily A. Francis, who's over in Malta. That's a story in the book and your life. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so great. It's so great to be with you and see you and have you as a contributor in the book. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
We're going to just talk a little bit about success. And we'll probably in the middle, I think I might break format from the 5 questions that I'm going to ask you. And I think we'll talk a little bit about your book and move because everybody's always excited about that. All right. So the first one is, I'm going to read these a little bit just so they're all consistent with the other contributors. The Success Guidebook examines success in a new and redefined way. How has your perspective and pursuit of success evolved through your life?
My definition of success has changed in every year, but really in blocks of years and for where I am. And for me, success is not really that much around how much I make or what kind of followers. Any kind of numerological construct is not the way that I'm running these days. It doesn't mean I don't want to be successful in that caliber, but to me, success is being able to lay down at night and know that I did everything that I wanted to do and be in the day, meaning my children. So I work when they're at school, and when they come home, that's my life, is my family 100%. So for me, success is being the best mom, being the best partner, being the best person in my home that keeps this house balanced and together and loving so that everybody wants to come home. And then the other parts are during the day, and it's more, I'm here in a foreign country. I'm doing things very differently. So I have this little mantra now in my mind and in my heart that I'm only willing to do that brings my heart delight. So if it doesn't bring my heart delight, I'm just not really interested. And that's it's a powerful place to be.
That's success right there. Yeah, that goes right here. I love that. Do you think people, I'm going to break format already. Do you think people realize how much we as women try, juggle everything? And
no,
I really
don't, because here's the other part. You have some people that want you to know everything that they do in the day. And then you have other people that don't need you to know what they do in the day, and they just do it. And it's the same thing with book writing. By the time the book goes to print, it's supposed to look like it was easy. Nobody needs to know all the steps and all the hardships where you think, I suck. Nobody's going to read this. Nobody needs to know all that stuff, right? But by the end, when somebody reads it, they're supposed to go, man, they're good. That was probably really easy for them. They just sat down and knocked it out. But nobody needs to know. And that's the same thing. Women juggle a million things. And I know when I meet other authors, I know what you went through. You don't have to tell me. I know. When you meet other mothers that are really hands-on, which you see over here in the Mediterranean tenfold, you don't have to look at another mother and go, well, what did you do today? You already know. So you can kind of give that look like, Mama, I got you. We are in this. You want to go have a coffee and take a little break? It's more that over here.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think anybody will ever really know. And I don't think that we'll ever know what they're doing. And at this point, I don't need them to know.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, my hair's back. I'm listening. How has the notion of success guided you in making big business or business decisions and life decisions? Doesn't have to be big business. But,
I wouldn't say for me that I run by the notion of success unless you change it to what I'm talking about with the delightful heart. Everything that I do is in my body. I feel it. And I follow the lead. And that took me years upon years to let my body lead over my voice and anybody else's. So when I feel like it's right, I go all the way. But if I have trepidation, I listen now. So it's whatever words you want to use as the leader, but that's I'm fully in sync with that. And there's no voice louder.
What did you do in your own life to have this new approach with your delightful heart?
Okay, so imagine, and I realize when people listen to this, they go, "You're so lucky." And I am. I'm as lucky as they come. We moved to a foreign country because my husband's company was given a grant to move here. I was not granted a work visa. I am not allowed to get paid here. Not allowed. So I moved over here and thought, okay, well, I'm still under contract in America. I still have a book out. I still host my radio show. Nothing's really changed except that I can't go into practice, right, for clinical body work.
Yeah.
But I didn't really want to anyway. So I had different sets of questions that I had to ask myself because I could have just not worked. That is the easy way. Or I could dive into anything that fascinates me. And it's really easy to be brave and bold when you don't have to negotiate your worth in money. So I could call places and say, I want to write for you. I'm an American author. I want to do a column with you. I want to write about the food that's here, the practices that make everything here organic and GMO free. So I became wildly brave and I showed up and I learned how to market myself in a way that I never did back in the States because everything equated to money. And here it was, I'm going to build this entire platform, not based on money, and then somehow figure out a way to make money because then you still do your American books from what you're doing. But it wasn't that mindset. Again, it was what brings my heart delight. And then I started meeting these different farmers because I was so fascinated with food production here. And it turns out that the farmers are like little hidden drops of sunshine and gold sprouting from the earth. I love old men to begin with, and most of these are older men. And they're like sweet and loving, and they invite you to their farm, and they've lived there their entire life, and now they have grandchildren that live there. And so it became an interest, not just show me how this food is, it was tell me your story. Who are you? And these farmers, they're really close. And the fact that I'm an American and in this circle took me 3 years to build this. They realize I'm really in it to showcase them. It's not a hidden agenda. It's a win-win. And I've been really honest. I want it in my book. I want to highlight you. I want to highlight me, highlighting you. It's a scratch your back. And it's become incredibly joyful as an existence, but it makes me brave because I have literally nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that's awesome.
Yeah. I love that, what you just said. Well, you do what you're doing regardless of whether you're paid or not. And I think you know this, but that's all best ever you as well. I would do this without anything. And it started that way for a really long time. Actually, for a long time, I called myself husband funded and mother approved.
Yes.
So
I'm kind of there and I like it.
and I like it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I have my moments where I'm still there and it's all good.
If you don't mind, if I can offer just one little tidbit, my friend is a super hard worker. The Maltese, they work and they work all the time. And how do you make the money? And my friend had a conversation with my husband and I wasn't there for it. And she was saying to him, why aren't you pushing Emily to work more? Why aren't you telling her to make more money? Why is she doing all this work out there and not bringing home any money? And she's really laying into him. But my husband's answer, she told it to me and it was brilliant. And this is what he said. His job is extremely stressful. I leave the office stressed out. Emily keeps our home balanced. It makes me want to come home. She keeps the energy level. She's going out there and doing things that she loves to do. She's having fun. She's picking up the kids and taking care of them all day. If I pushed her to work, we'd have 2 unhappy people in the home. How does that get better? Why would I do that? Or 4, because then your children are. But when you said that to her, she backed off. She never, ever asked again because her and her husband, they both work really hard and then they banter because it's like you come home and go, no, I'm really tired. No, I'm really tired. No, I did this. No, I did this. And instead it's like I'm the only driver here. So I drive the kids to school, him to work, pick them up, and I'm the happy face that they get in the car and I say, hi, babe, how was your day? That's the role of me. But I still, while everybody's away, I get to go gallivant all over this island, see and do things that most people will never get to see and do, and have love affair after love affair that's not at all inappropriate. And it's fun. So I love that. I thought that his answer was brilliant and kind.
I did too. And I'm going to I'm not picking on this person or anything like that, but what do you think it is? And it's still there because I've been on the receiving end of a
Mhm.
lot of it over the years that makes us judge other women. Why can't we just be like, you go, girl, you do you. You guys have a happy family and do whatever you're going to do, and you do your books or do your whatever, and
Yep.
yay, 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 yay. And
Yeah,
instead we're like,
I don't
oh, she
know.
works from home, or
She's not enough. She's not enough. You
yeah,
had enough. Yeah. I don't
I
like that. Yeah. And I think we do it. And it's really unfortunate when we do it to each other.
yeah, oh
You know,
yeah.
'cause it's one thing all around, but when women do it to other women, it's
Yeah.
like,
Wait a
God, don't
minute.
you realize? Like, aren't you happy for me that I'm in a position right now that, I mean, 20 years ago, I would have killed to be where I am right now.
Yeah.
And so I relish in that and try not to lose perspective and focus. The truth is, and I was telling you this before we filmed, I moved across the world. I became super, super tight with who's allowed near me. So
Yep.
now if I have somebody near me like that, man, they're out. It's
Same.
just that for this friend, she just needed to understand it. But no, I could never have answered it as eloquently as my husband because I don't think of it that way.
Right.
And he does. So that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I love it. Yeah. And it's true. And there's a dynamic. I think there's a dynamic with each household, each person, each everything that we need to start respecting.
Yes.
Instead of
Everybody has a role.
everybody has a thing and a dynamic and everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, it to make their life work and go. So
Yes.
all right. Sometimes, and I feel this one with you at moments. Our goals don't go right. We're over here and we want to be there. We don't have the level of success, even
Yeah.
financially or whatever it
Yeah.
is that we envision. Emily, can you remember a time where you persevered through that and through that type of disappointment? And can you share it with us? Can you tell us how did
Yeah.
you do anything you want to touch on there? Because oh
To
my,
be honest, I still have those thoughts.
yeah,
I still have those thoughts. I'm working on something that I've been working on over the years, ever since I moved here. And the last couple of days, I've been clamping down and really sitting down and writing and trying to formulate. And I was driving with my husband this morning and I was like, I worked for hours upon hours yesterday and I look at it now and I just think it sucks. And I was like, it's not that it sucks. It's got a lot of information, but I'm missing a weaving. And I'm missing parts and I just have to kind of back up. And he was like, we've kind of just formulated a little plan. But the truth is, I wouldn't say I persevere through anymore as much as redirect
Mhm.
and pivot and then figure out what are my strengths, what are not, go with my strengths, come back in later with the parts that are not, ask for help. But not in a huge way because I don't really like to share my work until it's ready to go. So really understanding. But for me, it's the redirect and the punting. Back it up and punt. That's it.
I love it. All right, that's good. That's a real good way of doing that. Okay, so the most elusive aspect of finding success could be the ability to have it encompass all aspects of our lives. So we're got that comprehensive success that I like to talk about. How do you approach success as a multifaceted goal?
It's interesting. I separate two. So life success is a multifaceted health, wellness, mental health, balance, joy, all the things, life, real life. But then I also have the side when you're asking the question and I think about the book writing and the book marketing, and that's its own whole thing because they now expect you to be a social media guru, a tech giant, a marketing master, a writing and creative, and a business proposal kind of a person. They expect so many pieces of a pie
And a
that it's hard to
speaker.
put that in one.
And
And a
a
speaker.
speaker. Yes,
And
like,
there's so much that they expect now.
yeah.
And, I will say on my own, it frustrates me that I know that anybody that publishes, the publisher has access to every big name, every opportunity for you. And they sort of pick and choose based on your level of success, how much they're going to really step up to bat for you. They've taken you in, they're going to publish, but the promotions part is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And that part makes me resentful and hopeful
Yeah.
and sad and hopeful. It's all. So, there's a multifaceted, but there's two different things, because I feel like when I put my author's cap on, it's a totally different answer than if I put on my life cap, because I always, think back, I have these huge goals and I'm slowly getting near them. And then you look at other people that have reached those goals and the things come and go so fast that you're forgotten so quickly after. And you're like, gosh, do I really want to put all my work into that so it can come out for a week, 2 weeks tops, and then it's gone, or, maybe on demand sometime later, there's little. So in that respect, it's much harder. And I'd be remiss to pretend like I've got this going. Whereas in life, I've got this going. I can answer it one way and it makes me sound really balanced and healthy and full. And then I can answer another way that shows that I'm hungry and combat very opposing thoughts and feelings on some of that stuff.
Well,
I don't know that that's a fair answer.
I think it's a very fair answer. And I think it speaks to, a lot of us with creative aspirations, whether it's a painting or a book or whatever it is, you wonder, what is it going to take for that to be a household name, or for that book to really sell those 10,000 copies in that year,
Right.
or 100,000 copies, or, it seems, and I think in social media, a lot of people make it look really easy, like, oh, it's an instant New York New York seller,
Yes,
whatever it is, New York.
It takes you years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah,
it takes years.
Yes. I'm 20
And
years in the making.
I still call it lightning in bottle. You're catching lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
And even this, like here in Malta, it's a very small country, and people really come to support, especially for the locals. Yeah. But I saw on the news the other day, our biggest social media influencer just hit 1 million. And I went to go check her out. I was so proud for her. And do you know what she does on that site? She gets dressed. She takes off down to the panties and the hose and the bra, and she puts on different outfits. And she takes off the clothes to the panties and the high heels and the bra and puts on something else. And I was everybody has to find their own niche. It's no hate. It's just, when I thought of your number one influencer in the entire country, that's what you're going to see. That's a gut punch.
Yeah.
It's a gut punch to somebody knocking on 50's door and then like, dang, why don't, and I don't want to be known for that anyway.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
But it's just, you're watching it and it's just, good for her, but also a bummer.
I know exactly what you mean. And I don't know how to delicately dance around the topic, but yeah, you can do things that are less than stellar or not smart or whatever, and just for following and things like that. And I kind of think when I post something in social media, and I've been on social media for a long time now in various formats, my kids were a lot smaller then. And I would think before I post, do I want my kids to ever see this? This is going to live on. Do I want them to see this? Do I want them to know that's their mother? So I've tried to think about it like that, like, who's seeing this and what are we known for exactly? And things like that.
Way back in the years that I self-published, long before I ever got picked up, I didn't have kids, and I wrote things that I have unpublished since then, but I'd love for my kids to pick it up when they're 20.
Yeah. My kids are 23, 25, 27, and 29 this year. So they've grown up with me on social media. And so I just would post things and I'm like, this is a delicate dance. I'm not going to post something that they're going to be like, oh, that's my mom.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
My friend does that. She dances on TikTok all the time and has a huge following now.
People are good at dancing on TikTok, though.
She'll put up a video that says, when your kids tell you that they're embarrassed because people are talking about you at school, and then she gets up and dances again, and you're like, I mean, that's sort of a slap to the kid,
But some people are great at dancing on TikTok. Like if I got up and danced on TikTok, it might not be so great. So anyway, yeah. So I think it's important to think about things like that. And I appreciate you kind of going there, because I think it's really helpful to people. I think we talked about this last one. I'm going to ask it to you in a minute. I'm going to go back and, okay, so I'm 55. I'll be 55 this year. I'll just give it, it's a few months away. So I'm 55. You're almost 50.
Yeah, I'm 49.
To all the young people out there listening, what would you say to them to help them reach their full potential and their best success and things like that? Give us a message to those youngsters out there.
I have 2 little girls. I'm raising 2 young women. So I give this message every single day. and that is that you are capable, really capable of doing anything you want to do if you're willing to show up day after day after day and either not change your mind and stay very focused, or give yourself permission to change your mind and know that's who you are. Because I have two children, one who's super focused in one direction and one who's a Pisces and just goes with it. So with both of them, with my one that goes with it, I'll always say, you have such a heart of gold. I love how you're always going with the flow. I love that you're not taking things too seriously. That's such a beautiful energy. And for the other child, I'll say, I love your intensity. I love how hard you work. I love that you never stop going for that dream. But to both of them, I always say, when you find something you love, go after it. Go after it in a way that you won't even look back because you did it. And start young and tell me how I can help you. Because you shouldn't have to be in this alone, but you also have to be safe and protected and guided and supported and everything. I never heard that when I was young, that anything I wanted to do was possible.
Yeah.
Never. And I think that's one of the most important messages. And it sounds so cliche until I hear it from somebody who, I may not be as successful, but I created something out of nothing. Yeah. Anybody that wrote books, I didn't have friends in the business. Nobody helped me. Nobody stepped in. I saved up for a year to go to my first book conference. And then I clawed my way alone for years and years, showing up for these goals and dreams. And when I would take my children to the public library to find my books on the shelf, that's when I give the talk. You can do anything. Look at this. And it's easier to do that when you have something tangible to say, it's real. It's really real and it's possible. Always possible.
Love it. All right. Let's talk about authenticity and integrity. How does that factor into achieving success and also maintaining it? That's the last question.
I have a quote from my Native American peace elder that I still think is one of the most powerful quotes in the world. And it is that the definition of toxicity is knowing the right thing to do and not doing it. And integrity, I think of doing the right thing even when no one's watching. So to me, it's always being very balanced and clear in your vision into what it is you want to be part of, what you want your name to match with, what you want your energy to support. And it's that clarity. It's asking yourself questions, not other people. What do I want? What am I willing to do to get it? And authenticity is, I'm going to do what I want, not what my mom always told me I should do, not what my friends are telling me, you got to do this way, because you hear that a lot. Even if you decide you're going to do something, if people support that, they still want to tell you how.
Oh, sure.
So it's that whole, you can tell me what to do or you can tell me how to do it, but you can't tell me both.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really important that you get very clear. And the only person that you need to get clear with before you make a move is all the parts of you, all your layers, all the board in your mind needs to be on the same side of the table. And then listen to your heart. That's the authenticity, because there's so many people that fake it and they show up like they're really kind and they're not. And that's worse, just like I think about this, and I don't want to say there was a very famous athlete. We all know who he was, and he had a massive number of affairs. And I remember my mom saying, I don't care if you want to do that, just don't get married. It's really simple. Whatever it is that you want to do, stay in that lane. So know who you are and stop apologizing, and definitely stop faking it. Just be who you are and embrace it.
Love it. Okay. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a contributor to the Success Guidebook.
Thank you. And I wish you so much success in your book launch, and may it really grow exponentially all around the world. May it grow wings.
Before we go, can you tell us where to find you and tell us a little bit about your books, most recent book, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
I moved to Malta in 2020 during the lockdown with my family to a place I'd never visited, started an entire new life. And my latest book, The Taste of Joy, Mediterranean Wisdom for a Life Worth Savoring. This is the audio, and it was right there, so it's easy to show.
Yeah. Great book.
That's a great, thank you. It was a great experience, and it's fun. You can find me everywhere, Emily A. Francis. Emily A. Francis books, everywhere. Thanks for having me, Elizabeth. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you.